Hey everyone, it's your Peacekeeper coming at you with a video that you guys have requested. Well, I'm kind of coming at you with that video. The question's been asked, hey, Peacekeeper, what do you recommend for ranked, etc., etc.? Well, I'll just be honest, my commentary with regards to ranked is basically this. There are a lot of people out there that want to tell you that you should run X, Y, or Z ship, and those are going to be the only ships that are going to be competitive. That's fine and dandy if you're actually good in those ships and you actually enjoy playing those ships, but what I've tended to find is that people who focus entirely on, well, you should run this in ranked, or this in ranked, or this in ranked, they get in this feedback loop where they'll end up playing a ship that they're not comfortable playing because it's the hot ship to have, and, we see it all the time with... I see it with Cleveland drivers all the time. Not in relation to this video. I'm not saying that about anybody in this particular video, but what I am finding is that people get really uncomfortable with certain play styles, and so they'll jump in these ships that they're not comfortable with. They'll jump into ranked. They won't have a really solid idea of which ship, how that ship plays or how that class plays, and it ends up being actually worse for you in the long run. And if you're still trying to learn how a ship plays, ranked is really not the place to do that. Randoms or co-op are both fantastic places to learn. Ranked is really... Man, I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for saying this, but ranked is really a place where you go when you've got a solid understanding of things and you know how to play a ship well. That's why, for the most part, when it comes down to playing ranked, you'll see me I'll be in the Cleveland or Arizona. I brought out Shinonome thinking that I could possibly get a decent, game in her, and ended up really not doing all that well. And so, I guess my comment here is stick with what you're good at. If you're, playing this and you're a battleship player, but you've got Fuso, but you're not real comfortable with their play style, but you are with New Mexico or you've got Arizona, play those. Don't let someone like me or any of the other major YouTubers go out there and tell you what ship you should play. You need to play the ship that you're the most comfortable with, because ultimately that's going to be a ship that you're going to be able to play better than these other ships. I mean, that's my honest commentary on the whole thing. Like, don't let these people tell you or dictate how you're going to play the game. Go out, play the ship you're comfortable with, have fun with it, and go from there. Now, when it comes down to it, are there certain ships that are better? Yeah, there probably is. Are there certain ships that are worse? Yeah, there probably is. It's really not going to matter, because in ranked, the vast majority of play is going to be team-oriented. There's a couple of different things that will, impact that. Your destroyer players, those are definitely very important to the overall ranked play because of the smoke meta. Battleships that are willing to push and support, those are another important one. But, if you don't have these things, play the best game that you can play and try and motivate others to play with you. So in this battle video, I'm playing Arizona, and, it's the typical ranked match. All we have is smoke, all we have is cruisers floating around, burning things to death, and we're off to a pretty good start. We've managed to take out one of their destroyers, and they have not taken any of ours. They're probably in the worst position out of any of us. I really wish that Molotov would have been coming back around this way, but we'll go ahead and we'll shoot at Mr. Alba over there. And so we're up to 28,878 damage, and this is just a good example of a ranked carry, and we're just smacking Citadel after Citadel, and this is what I was talking about with being comfortable with the ship. Oh, apparently, some key got stuck. I was spamming, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I was trying to spam the F7. What used to be F7 was the in need of assistance, is now apparently I need intelligence. I don't know. But, general gameplay styles when it comes down to playing certain ships in this game for ranked purposes. If you're going to play a battleship, you need to understand that you're the tank of your team. You need to be up front. If you're playing in a Fuso, you definitely need to be more up front than you're probably comfortable with in Fuso for randoms, because simply put, you're going to have to tank damage. Now this battle, you can see I'm all the way up here in front. Where's my nearest support? Well, I've got myself Nuremberg behind me, and well, he's turning around anyway, so that's at least beneficial. But I'm pretty much up here without a whole lot of other cover aside from him, and well, there's a lot of them. Our other New Mexico is off doing well, he's AFK, I think. I don't think he's loaded in yet. But hey, we're already at high caliber here, and gameplay wise, you know, points wise, we've managed to even it up. Good angling kind of helps mitigate eating a citadel there. That's one of the things I really like about Arizona. She's just a tough old bird. You know, kind of had an unfortunate rap there. So there's our Nuremberg, gonna hopefully help keep some of the lighter stuff off, like that Molotov. That'd be nice. Mr. New Mexico is opening up. That's gonna be a mistake. As the phrase goes, going broadside in a battleship, that's a paddling. Well, we're going to have to go a little bit broadside anyway here, because we're going to have to turn. Thankfully, Mr. Nuremberg is providing a sufficient distraction from the battleships here, because, you know, soft, squishy German cruiser versus, you know, hard to punch through armor. That allows me to sneak around the end of this island without too much issue. So we're still over here trying to kill off this New Mexico. And, well, another salvo out. That was a pretty solid hit there, 16,000 damage. But if you're, like I was starting to say there, if you're a battleship, you know, you really need to be up front. You need to be taking damage. Maybe not all the way up front. Your destroyers should definitely be up there with you at a minimum. But if they're not, you know, you're going to have to start moving. You're going to have to start pushing. You're going to have to start getting help. Yep, angling armor. That's amazing. If you're not going to do that, don't play battleships. Because seriously, nothing is more frustrating than being in a battleship and having a teammate, or teammates, plural, decide that they are uninterested in helping you accomplish objectives. Like on this match, you know, nobody has a cap right now. We're about tied up in terms of ships. You know, we have this AFK New Mexico, and that's not helping us at all. At all. And so things are kind of hairy right now. It's really, really uncomfortable. And, okay, so we're still pretty much even across the board here. We lost an Alba and traded it for Cleveland. Probably a decent trade there, if I was going to be perfectly honest. If you're a destroyer, you know, ultimately your goal is, you've got a couple of different goals. You need to screen the fleet, and by that I don't mean rushing up and committing suicide at the first ship that you see, trying to torpedo it. What I do mean, though, is I do mean being out in front of your, battle line, your cruisers and your battleships, and, you know, spotting torpedoes as they come in at your ships, providing smoke if you can. And when the opportunity arises, you definitely need to be pressing caps so that you can assist your team in going after objectives. For cruisers, you know, your primary focus should be on destroyers, at least at the initial outset of the match, and then it's going to transition to some of the heavier ships as the match goes on, because obviously as the match goes on, you're not going to be able to really comfortably address any of the other issues. And we've got our second kill. We're up to 128,739 XP here. And we've got ourselves a Graf Spee there that just, oh my. Oh, and Alba just popped up as well. So, the New Mexico on our team has finally loaded into the match. I don't know if he was just a bot and finally loaded in, or what the McDealio was, but he's in. That's all that matters. Mr. Alba is turning broadside. That's a paddling. And paddling it'll be. There's another 15,000 damage. Yeah. Graf Spee launched his torpedoes. Little does he know that that's not going to work on me, especially when I've got a spotting plane that's flying right over top of him. But that's all right. Hey, you got to try. So those are kind of my ideas for the different roles of the ships. You know, cruisers, I would say a game is made and lost on the interplay between cruisers and battleships. When it comes to priorities in terms of targets, I would say that cruisers definitely need to focus on destroyers more. And there's our third kill, up to 147,000 damage there. Definitely focusing primarily on the destroyers at the early onset. That's going to allow your battleships to push up and tank more damage because they're not worried about, getting taken out by torpedoes from nowhere. If there's a Farragut on the enemy team, chances are you'll probably see him before you get torpedoed, but you never know. Sometimes you will definitely be on the receiving end of bad news there. But destroyers, again, primarily on screening, providing smoke support, and being out in front for that screening, and occasionally going after destroyers, and especially if you can get your destroyers to last to the end game, they can be a real asset when it comes to taking out enemy battleships. That's by far their one of their stronger suits. But that smoke is also important too, because it allows you to advance under smoke cover. It allows you to sit in smoke cover and do damage that way. Graf Spee, broadside, paddling. And, well, apparently not a paddling. Okay, so we're definitely pushing into this cap because we need to stop the point bleed here. And so, yeah, those are my ideas anyway. And in terms of ships, like I said, the best thing that you could possibly ever do is play a ship you're comfortable with. The worst thing you could possibly do is play the quote-unquote best tier 6 or whatever ranked ship it is, and then being completely uncomfortable with the playstyle. I mean, there's really no good reason for that. There's 22,000 taken off. There's really just no excuse for playing a ship that you're not comfortable with just because it's the new hotness. I definitely recommend playing, a ship you're comfortable with. That's a much better idea than playing a ship that you're just absolutely uncomfortable with. We're up to 178,746 damage. Can we finish off the Graf Spee? We'll see in a moment. Boom! Yes. Alright, so, end battle results on this battle. Yes, rank 16. That's because I did not play past rank 10 in the previous season, and I really don't care. 187,855 damage, 4 kills, Confederate, and high caliber. And you can see there, 2,261 base XP. I would definitely say we carried that one a little bit. That was a pretty good hard carry. 851,000 potential damage, though. Not too shabby. Anyway, those are my thoughts on ranked. You guys know as well as I do that you're going to play the ship best that you're most comfortable with, and that's my message from the get-go. Anyway, I'm your Peacekeeper. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching.